Darren didn't set an alarm that morning. For the first time in 4 years, no one expected him at 7 a.m. No forklift engine waiting. No time clock to beep him in. No manager side nodding at his arrival like, right on time D. The warehouse had laid off half its staff. Darren was in the unlucky half. Except it didn't feel like bad luck. It felt like proof. Proof that no matter how hard you worked, you were still disposable. He sat at the edge of his bed, elbows on knees, fingernails digging into his palms, staring at the floor like it held a map out of this fog. But it didn't. The room looked the same crooked poster on the wall, same blue laundry basket with too many unmatched socks, same faint smell of laundry detergent and old wood. But the air felt heavier, like someone had opened a window and let the meaning escape. His phone buzzed. Group chat. Damn, they let you go too? Yo, I'm done, man. No warning. He typed. Yeah. Same. Paused. Deleted. Retyped. Yeah. Same. Sent. Then muted the thread. He didn't want to talk about it. Didn't even want to be it. He got up. Sat down. Opened the fridge. Nothing had changed in there either. But somehow everything felt wrong. He wasn't hungry. He wasn't full. He wasn't anything. He tried to check job listings. Typed hiring near me, and stared at the blinking cursor like it might blink back. But he couldn't click. Couldn't imagine sending another resume. With a forced smile and a list of skills he wasn't even sure he had anymore. It wasn't just about losing a paycheck. It was the loss of rhythm, of role, of relevance, of the version of himself who belonged somewhere at 8 a.m. every morning. His mother called. He let it ring. He loved her, but today her voice would feel like pressure. And he couldn't carry even one more ounce of "you got this." Not today. Not when he wasn't sure what this even was. He lay back in bed and scrolled for hours. News, sports, memes. Nothing stuck. He laughed once, then felt guilty for laughing. Turned the phone off. There was a moment, just one, when the thought crossed his mind. What if I just disappeared for a while? Not in a tragic way. Just faded out. Quietly. The world had already stopped noticing him. Why not lean into the silence? He closed his eyes. Didn't sleep. Didn't cry. Just went still. And outside the city kept moving. Trains ran. Doors opened. People talked. But for Darren, time no longer ticked. Just sat beside him, waiting for him to decide what to do next. But he had no answers yet. Only questions. And for now those were heavy enough. The days blurred. There was no Monday. No Saturday. Only light and dark. Only Darren. Awake too late, asleep too long. He stopped checking the time. What was the point when there was nowhere to be? Mornings became soft shadows on the wall. Afternoons passed without purpose. And evenings? They felt like reminders of another day gone where nothing had changed. Sometimes he would start something, click on a job post, open his resume, write 2 sentences, and then stop, close the tab, shut the laptop. There was always this voice in his head. They won't pick you anyway. You're already behind. You should have had your life together by now. He tried to ignore it. Tried to drown it out with music, podcasts, old comedy shows. But even laughter had an echo now. And it bounced off the walls of an apartment that felt more like a box every day. His fridge became a symbol of his mood. Half full, half empty. Like him. He'd stand there, door open, staring blankly at a bottle of ketchup, a carton of eggs, a leftover takeout box he wasn't sure was still good. Sometimes he'd make eggs. Sometimes he'd just go back to bed. The worst days weren't the lonely ones. They were the invisible ones. When he felt like he didn't exist, not even to himself. On day 12, he forgot it was his friend's birthday. He opened Instagram and saw photos. The guys at a bar, all smiles. He wasn't invited. No one had even checked in. He stared at the screen for a long time, then turned off his phone, and sat in the dark, legs folded on the floor like a child lost at a bus stop. Maybe I disappeared already, he thought. There were moments in the middle of that stillness when he imagined running, not away in a dramatic sense, just leaving, start somewhere new, new job, new city, new version of himself who wasn't tired, wasn't ashamed, wasn't behind. But where would he go? He didn't even want to go outside. The streets looked too loud, too alive. He wasn't ready to be among people who walked with purpose, while he wandered with nothing. And still, he wanted something to change. He just didn't know how. Some nights he'd lie awake, asking questions to no one. What am I doing? How did I end up here? Does anyone notice I'm gone? Would anyone care if I don't come back? He didn't say these things out loud, but they lived inside him, heavily, quietly, every single day. The scariest part wasn't the sadness. It was the numbness. Not crying. Not shouting. Just drifting. Like his soul was standing still in a hallway, waiting for someone to open a door. But no door came. So he waited. It didn't happen with fireworks.
No sudden clarity.
No divine sign. Just a moment. Small. Quiet. Barely noticeable, unless you were paying attention. Darren woke up before the alarm he didn't set. The light leaking through the curtains was pale, not golden. Muted. Like the day wasn't quite sure of itself yet. He stared at the ceiling for a long time. The way someone might study an old crack in a wall. Familiar but unsettling. Then, without knowing why, he sat up. His body resisted. Not out of pain, out of disbelief. You're really getting up? For what? He ignored it. Swung his legs over the edge of the bed. Put his feet on the cold floor. He walked to the bathroom. Looked in the mirror. It had been days since he really looked. Beard uneven. Eyes tired. Not tragic. Just undone. He turned on the faucet. Washed his face. Brushed his teeth slowly. As if rediscovering the routine of being human. Then he opened the window. The air was crisp. Someone was mowing a lawn nearby. He heard a kid laugh. A car door slam. Nothing profound. Just life continuing. And something about that. About the world going on without him. But not against him. Made him feel less like a failure. And more like a person in pause. He walked back to his desk. Wiped a layer of dust off the surface. Found a pen. Tore a page from an old notebook. Wrote at the top. Today. Just today. Then underneath. Apply to one job. Make breakfast. Open the window. Text Marcus back. That was it. No grand plans.
No promises.
Just try. He opened his laptop, typed in a job board, found a listing entry level, $17 an hour. Delivery assistant. Was it ideal? No. But was it something? Yes. He applied. His resume had the wrong font. He left a typo in the cover letter. He hit send anyway. And just like that he had done something. Not everything. But something. He made scrambled eggs. Too salty. Still warm. He texted Marcus. Yo. Sorry I've been off. Just needed a minute. 2 minutes later the reply came. I get it. You're not alone, bro. Slide through this weekend. Underscore 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 underscore. Darren sat at the window for a while, eating in silence. The eggs. The noise of a distant leaf blower. It all felt normal. Painfully, beautifully normal. And for the first time in weeks, he didn't feel like a ghost. He felt like a man in motion again. Slow. Quiet. Imperfect. But moving. The interview was set for 10 a.m. It wasn't a big role. Driver's assistant at a furniture company. But to Darren, it felt like standing on a stage again. And he hadn't been on one in a while. He wore his best shirt. Ironed it twice just in case. Practiced his professional voice in the mirror. Googled what to say, what not to say. What hiring managers really look for in 2025. But at 9:48 he panicked. What if I say something stupid? What if I freeze? What if I get it and still fail? His palms were wet. He sat on the edge of his bed, phone in hand, watching the time tick closer. The self-doubt hit harder than he expected. You've been out of work too long. They'll hear it in your voice. You don't belong anymore. They're just going to waste your time. His thumb hovered over the red decline call button. Underscore 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 underscore. Then he heard a knock on the door. Not loud. Just human. It was Marcus. Yo, you good? Marcus didn't wait for permission. Just walked in. He saw the frozen posture, the sweaty hands, the fear. You skipping the call? he asked like it wasn't a loaded question. Darren shook his head barely. Marcus sat down across from him. Quiet. Present. Then said, "You don't have to be amazing on the call. Just be in the call. You've already done the hard part. You stayed. Now just pick up." Understand. 10:00 a.m. The phone rang. Darren looked at Marcus, then answered. His voice cracked on the first sentence. He laughed awkwardly, took a breath, and kept going. The interview wasn't perfect. He forgot one of the company names he worked for, stumbled over a question, had to ask them to repeat another. But when it ended, they said, "Thanks, Darren. You sound like someone who shows up." Understand. He didn't know if he got the job, but that day, he showed up. Not just to a phone call, not just to a maybe job. He showed up. For himself. For the man who stayed in bed for too long. For the man who stopped believing. For the version of himself who almost gave up. And that, in the end, was the win that mattered. Sparkles, you can stay. Even when your voice shakes. Even when you almost don't pick up. Even when you doubt your worth. You still deserve to try. And trying is already healing. Being unemployed doesn't mean you're lost. A letter for anyone who's in between jobs, and in between versions of themselves. Understand. It's okay to not have a job right now. Really. Let that sink in without apology, without a footnote. You're still here. You're still you. You are still worthy of love, of care, of rest. Some days being unemployed feels heavier than work ever did. Not because you're lazy. Not because you failed. But because no one tells you how much identity we attach to being useful. We're taught from early on that our value lies in our title, that success is a schedule, that money equals meaning. So when that title slips, when the paychecks pause, you start to question everything, especially yourself. But I need you to hear this. You are not your job. You never were. Your worth was never meant to be proven on a resume. It lives in quieter places. The way you show up for your friends, the thoughts you don't say but feel deeply, the small kindnesses you offer without asking for praise. Understand. You are in a season of transition, not failure, not punishment. Not dead end. A pause is not the end of motion. It's a space to breathe before what comes next. And maybe that's what you need more than anything. Permission to breathe. Permission to not feel shame when you say, "I'm between jobs." Permission to not compare your life timeline to someone else's highlight reel. Permission to say, "I don't know what's next." And still be proud of showing up each day anyway. Because some days showing up is the hardest thing to do. Let me tell you something no one puts on motivational posters. There's nothing glamorous about this in-between. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward. It's full of questions you can't Google and feelings you can't explain. And yet, this in-between is still sacred. It is still yours. This is where new things are built. In the silence. In the mornings you choose to get dressed anyway. In the applications you send even though you're tired of being ignored. In the cup of coffee you make for yourself when no one's watching. This is where resilience grows. Quietly. Slowly. Away from applause. Underscore 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 underscore. Being unemployed doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you're human. And life, for all its structure and pressure, is still allowed to fall apart sometimes. Sometimes you need to lose a job to find your voice again, to realize that your energy has value, that your time has meaning outside of a timesheet. And maybe this moment isn't just an end. Maybe it's a beginning you haven't learned how to name yet. So if you're in bed right now, not sure what day it is, that's okay. If you're scared about rent, or your future, or if you'll ever feel proud again, you're not alone. If you're tired of pretending to be okay, you don't have to. Take small steps. Eat. Breathe. Walk. Apply. Pause. Ask for help if you can. Rest if you need to. Try again when you're ready. There is no shame in starting over. There is no shame in not knowing. There is strength in staying. There is power in being soft with yourself, even when the world tries to make you hard. Sparkles, you are not behind. Sparkles, you are not failing. Sparkles, you are becoming. And becoming always begins in stillness. Let this be your stillness. Not your stop. Your chapter, not your conclusion. Your moment to rebuild, not retreat. You are allowed to be here. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be unemployed. And still be good. Still be worthy. Still be loved. This is not the end of your story. This is just the part where you learn how to turn the page. Herb, you can stay, just as you are, even in between things, especially in between things. A letter for the days when you're trying to feel the sun again. Underscore 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 underscore. Let's talk about positive energy. Not the kind that tells you to just be happy. Not the kind that tries to cover your sadness with glitter. Not the kind that ignores your pain and calls it optimism. That's not real positivity. That's pressure. And pressure is not what you need right now. I'm talking about a different kind of energy. The kind that's quiet. The kind that meets you exactly where you are, No mask, no pretending. The kind that says, you're allowed to feel what you feel and still believe in something better. Real positive energy doesn't demand a smile. It doesn't judge you when you're tired, or confused, or slow to respond. It doesn't make you feel guilty for not being upbeat. Instead, it whispers, take your time. You're safe here. Even now. You are growing. It's in the moment you sit by the window, watching the clouds move slowly, and realize you're still breathing. It's in choosing not to hate yourself, just because today was hard. It's in the way you pour your coffee, the way you put on clean clothes even if no one will see, the way you water a plant or reply to one message, because you still care even through the fog. Positive energy isn't a firework. It's a candle. Soft, consistent, steady. Even when the wind tries to blow it out, it leans but keeps burning. Sometimes it flickers. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it's still in you. We live in a world obsessed with the loudest forms of light, achievement, productivity, happiness as performance. But the strongest kind of light often comes from the quietest places, like your patience, like your decision to rest instead of run, like the way you keep showing up. Even if showing up today just means getting out of bed. That counts. That matters. That is positive energy too. And if no one told you lately, you are allowed to carry hope and heaviness at the same time. You are allowed to be unsure, to not know what you're doing, and still believe you're becoming someone worth knowing. Because you are. Even if you're still figuring it out. Especially if you're still figuring it out. Positive energy doesn't mean you ignore the hard parts. It means you honor them without letting them own you. You feel them. You sit with them. But you don't let them build a house inside your soul. You say, yes, this hurts, but it won't hurt forever. Yes, I'm struggling, but I'm still moving. And sometimes, positivity is just not giving up. That's it. Just not quitting on yourself. Even when it would be easier to disappear. Even when you think no one would notice. There's beauty in how you keep going. Even when it's not dramatic. Even when no one's watching. Even when the world feels loud, and your energy feels quiet. The world may not applaud those moments, but they are sacred. So here's what I hope you remember. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not weak for needing time, for needing space, for needing rest. You are a human being, not a machine, not a brand, not a highlight reel. And your energy, however quiet, however slow, is still enough. Underscore 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 underscore. Sparkle's positive energy isn't about being light. It's about not putting out your own. It's about holding space for the idea that something better can still happen. It's in the choice to believe that your life doesn't have to look perfect to be meaningful. It's in trusting that the version of you right now, the one with doubts, with fears, with questions, is still worthy of gentleness. So breathe. Don't chase perfection. Don't shame yourself for struggling. Don't compare your path to someone else's chapter. Rest if you need to. Cry if you need to. Be still. And when you're ready, try again. But know this. You are doing more than you think. And you are growing, even if it doesn't feel like it. Your light hasn't left you. It's just learning to glow in a new way. Herb, you can stay. With all your imperfections. With all your unfinished plans. With all your quiet courage. You are not too late. You are not too slow. You are not too much. You are enough. Still becoming. Still worthy. Still light.